Serta to say how long the stream's going to be?
No, I don't think so. I haven't heard. Serta, are we going live soon? Serta, you there?
Maybe he's either concentrating on getting the stream up or he just thought and can't hear us at all.
Yeah, no idea. Probably one of the two.
So which motorsport series do you follow, Cody?
IMSA and the World Endurance Championship are my two big ones.
Ah, right, okay, yeah.
Greetings, Petrolheads, and welcome to RomRom.net, the channel sharing the joy of sim racing, and to yet another broadcast of the Open Wheel Racing Championship, racing today in Silverstone. My name is Serta, and I am not alone here. With me, as always, is the man with the voice of 1,000 angels, Cody Swanson. Cody, welcome to the channel. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm looking forward to a great day of racing at Silverstone.
Right, as always with our OWR broadcast, Tom Kearns is with us too. Hi Tom, how are you doing?
I'm okay, thank you. Looking forward to some great racing here. One of the most historical racing tracks in the world, that is Silverstone in the Northamptonshire County in Great Britain.
I'm looking forward to a good day of racing. We've got some, great drivers in these RSS Formula Hybrid 2020 cars, and this is going to be fun. I'm excited.
I think with what we've seen so far throughout the campaign, with the Griffins and the DACs doing so well, especially last time out, Griffin did excellent. I think we're going to be in for a cracking, not just a good race session, but a good qualifying that's about to begin here.
Absolutely. We're looking at a few drivers going in and out here. It looks like we have David Halligan in first place right now, and he's coming into the pits. Second, also coming in on his in lap, just pulling into the pit box actually, is Jordy Lois and Christoph Bose, rounding out your top three of this qualifying session here. We've got about 6 minutes left to go, a little under 6 minutes, and then we will be racing.
So Halligan posting a really fast lap time there, nearly a 10th clear of Lois in second place.
Okay, I would, how about we use...
Yes, sir?
Sorry.
Oh, okay. Tom, what do you think will be the toughest part of the track for
Tom.
drivers?
Sorry. Well, I was just going to say that Alex has been very close in this session so far, and amazed to see Lois's pace as well. So Southwood in 5th position, probably thinking that he'll be higher up, but I think he's probably thinking slightly more about race trim. And then we've got Eichentema and Sheikh, sort of the best of the rest really. But I don't think we've quite seen the true pace of the Bytowns yet.
What do you think will be the most difficult part of this track? This is, a track that I would assume you're a bit more familiar with than I am. I know it from my viewership of the World Endurance Championship and a Formula One, but it's certainly across the pond for me. as someone who probably has a bit more experience with the circuit, Tom, what do you think will be the trickiest part of it for these drivers?
I'd be tempted to say the Maggots-Beckett's section. Now, if you remember, prior to the Ayrton Senna accident in '94, it used to be sort of like a left kink of Maggots and a sharper right-hander of Beckett's, and then the left kink of Chappell. Well, they've sort of changed that in '94, and it's still pretty much what it is now with the sort of fast Maggots and Beckett's and Chappell section, which is the section after Cops Corner, which is where the old pit straight is. Obviously, now the pit straight is on the what's now known as the Hamilton Straight between Abbey and Club, and it's a wonderful venue. And answering your question, I'll probably say the Mags and Beckett section is the trickiest part because it's so easy to exceed track limits there. And if you get your line wrong, your lap's pretty much ruined because you're having to you don't have enough time to react to get the car turned in well before Beckett's.
Indeed, indeed. Wow, these cars just sound amazing. I love the sound of these things. The 2020 car is a bit slower than the 2019 car. At least it's supposed to be that way. The aero package was reduced, and then this 2021 spec car that just came out with the from RSS. I believe it's supposed to have a little bit less aero. Do you think that does that actually make them slower, or is the increase in power and technological development, does that make up for it?
Well, this year, well, if you're talking about this year's Formula One cars, I mean, there is a cut down on the downforce for 2021. I think it's something like between 10 to 15% from last year's.
Mm-hmm.
And teams are having to find new ways to make up the lost performance. I mean, last time out at Imola, before this weekend's round in Portugal, I think there was something like 8/10 difference between the pole time of this year that's slower to last year's. And teams are having to probably find new ways in terms of chassis design, aero design, and perhaps, you know, put more power into the power units that they use. So there's all sorts of different ways that the teams are trying to sort of make up for the lost performance at the beginning of the year, which I think they'll do so by the time we get to the latter part of the season.
Excellent, excellent. At some point in our yammering, Christoph Bose set a new fastest lap. He's now coming into the pit lane, but I think the lap prior he set a 1:25.769, beating out David Halligan's 1:25.894 to take pole.
We've still got
got a minute left.
I was just going to say we've still got a minute left. We're just going to see. I mean, Bose and Halligan haven't got enough time to go out again and improve. Alex Cochrane is out on circuit. We've just seen don't know if that was a time being posted there. I can't quite tell who that is on the onboard. But it's Panos Speedy. Yeah, but it's Panos Speedy in the AlphaTauri liveried car. But you know, it's interesting to see if Southwood can improve on his lap time from before. He is quite some way off to Bose's time, which is unlike Southwood actually, given that he is the championship leader.
Certainly. It's interesting to see the spread here is fairly low. We've got high 125s and at first and second and third place, and then low 128s in 10th through 12th. I'm sorry, 9th through 12th place. And so I think that's a pretty close close grid. Do you think we'll see pretty much pack racing all the way through, or do you think it'll spread out over the course of the race more?
I feel that we're going to see more sort of in like divisions between the grid. I think we're looking at, you know, the Bytowns, Griffins, and DACs tussling amongst themselves in those, you know, top 6 positions. I mean, Lois and Attic may get in on the Ats as well. I can't remember if they are in different machines actually. I know they're in different machines, but we don't know whether they're like individual drivers or within their own teams. But most definitely the DAC's Griffins and the Bytowns will be up there. It's just, the others, the sort of minnows, if you like, picking up the spoils if the front runners have their own melodies.
Puck range. Cochrane has had an incident and then has now come into the pits.
We've got Southwood on a fast lap as well in the other DAC. By the looks of it, he had his DRS open on the back straight, the hanger straight that is. It's coming through Club Corner now and onto the Hamilton straight. Does he improve his lap time from before? Let's have a look. He does, but no higher than 5th, unfortunately. So Southwood will be starting from 5th position on the grid.
This will be a 30-lap race, which should take us, I believe, about an hour or so, right?
Well, given that the laps, the fastest lap time was a 1:25.
1:25, so a bit over an hour.
Yeah, well, it'll be about 45 minutes, I would say.
Oh, 45 minutes. Well, this is why I'm a stream race commentator, not a mathematician.
Well, if you need a mathematician, you can always rely on me.
Wonderful.
I'm just looking
I knew
at,
there was something wrong with you, Tom.
So just looking at... Sorry, go on.
Go right ahead.
Yeah, I was just looking at the times there. I wonder why the driver you can see on the graphic that says Barry Clare. I don't know if that's his nickname or what his actual driver's name is. But yeah, it's strange to see how far off the pace he is. I just hope he doesn't become an obstacle to the leaders if he ends up so far off the leaders' pace. Later on
We may have some lap traffic that the leaders will have to navigate through. They seem to be pretty good in traffic getting around slow cars and qualifying, and so I don't see it as being too much of an issue. But if we're at a tricky spot in the track and they catch up to each other, then it could play out interestingly for sure. Something to watch. So our countdown is 0, so I'm waiting to see the stream camera is wigged out for a moment, but it seems to be back now. But we're just waiting on, I think, the server to start the race.
So we just just hope we do get maybe another different race winner, because we've had 4 races so far. Southwood's won the first 2, then Christoph Bose and David Halligan have a win each. So is Southwood going to come away with his 3rd victory in 5, or can the Griffins continue that brilliant form we've seen in Gold Coast and Suzuka?
Well, Bose does have the pole, but Halligan and Cochrane are not far behind. So I think that outside of those two, Cochrane on pace alone would be my my other pick. So it looks like if he keeps that up, and I remember he did quite well at Suzuka as well, and so I think that he'll have a good shot if he can keep things clean, avoid incidents, and get his pit strategy right.
By the way, the issue with that we are still in queue and it's showing 0 may have to do that the organizer is having issues with his internet. Now.
Here we are on the grid. And us stream commentators, we will need to get our cars off of the grid pretty much as soon as the green flag is waved. That's just an idiosyncrasy with Assetto Corsa. And so stream commentators, keep that in mind. But we are on the grid. We have a 1 minute and 30-second countdown until the race begins. I'm excited. This is the moment. Stand up, stretch, sit back down, get focused, breathe, because you're going to be racing at the limit for the next hour or so. 45 minutes to an hour. And we're saying 45 minutes, but there's always the possibility of a full course yellow. We do have a safety car for this series that can be driven. And
well,
so
let's just hope the safety car's got enough fuel on board.
Indeed. I will say, as an alert to any drivers who are starting out, make sure that you avoid the cars on the grid that aren't moving whenever you get going. But those who have qualified should have a time faster than ours, so we'll be in the back. I see race lights coming up. Looks like drivers are about to go. And they are away. Here we go. Here we go. Green flag. Let's go racing, boys. Oh, here we go.
Oh.
We've got a spinner at the back as well. Someone spun at Abby. I don't know who that was. Might have been DJ. Matt DJ's gone.
I believe it was DJ, yes. He's gone to the back. Halligan is dropped back to 4th. He is, looks like he lost out from the shuffle into single file to Jordy Lewis, and Alex Cochran is now in 2nd and 3rd.
I think we saw some smoke on the Wellington straight. I think Sheikh had a moment of himself, so he's back, pointing in the right direction again, albeit down at the back, just behind Matt DJ. But Christoph Bowes continuing to lead ahead of Alex Cochrane. Then it's Lewis in 3rd ahead of Halligan and Southwood. So it's pretty much the same top 5 as it was on the grid so far.
Indeed, we see in 6th though, very close behind, Tim Igentima, I believe that name is pronounced. But yes, Southward is right on Halligan's tail. And we can see, I see Barrichello down in 14th, had a bit of an issue. DJ is off again, Matt DJ. And so it looks like we're going to see, we've got some drivers who are having some issues off the bat. We're having some drivers who are very, very close together up at the top. But it looks like we're going to have some good competition, perhaps some obstacles to fight on the track, and it's gonna be a good race. I'm optimistic. I'm excited.
So we're just riding on board with Eisenheimer in what looks like one of the by-towns, up in 6th place. Panos Speedy in 8th. I wonder if the by-towns are going to get on the outs actually of those ahead, particularly the Griffins and the DACs. But Bowes 0.7 of a second clear of Cochrane at the stage, and if the rule does apply in this, I think DRS does not enable until lap 3. We are still on the 2nd lap at the moment. You see some dust being kicked up there, but looks like the DAC of Southwood coming out of Beckett's, kicking a little bit of dust, so he's clearly pushing very hard at this stage of the race. Southwood closing in on Halligan in front of him. And just looking at a rear end view, so he's pulling away from Argentema, second between those two. Attic in 7th position, and so there's a change of position for 9th place as Hayden's got by what looks like Varzik.
And Cochrane is pretty close, or he got pretty close to Bose. They dropped back a little bit there, but they're on the straight. Cochrane's got the draft behind Bose and looks to be catching up for the lead. Claxton Rudd also? No, Wasik. Oh, yeah. Claxton Rudd gets the pass on Wasik for 10th place. Top 10 hype there. A lot of race to run, though.
We're expecting this to be a quick one as well, I can imagine. You can see riding on board with what looks like, was it? He spins coming out with Luffield and onto Woodcote. He should get going again. He is going onto the grass, though. He will want to rejoin. Not in the path of other drivers, but he's got going again. Well clear of Matt DJ, so no harm done there to the car. So it's on his way, but back to the battle for 4th position as Southwood is looking to make up ground on Halligan in front of him. And where he is in the race so far, it could have a real change to the championship standings, because if you remember, Southwood was 12 points ahead of Christoph Bose, who's leading this race at the moment. So as it stands, Christoph Bose would be leaving Silverstone as the new championship leader.
Indeed, Southwood is going to have that on his mind that, not only does he need to pull off a good finish, he needs to pull off specifically a finish that's better than wherever Bose ends up.
I have to say, I've been really impressed with Lois's pace so far.
Mm-hmm.
Podium finisher last time out, I believe, at Suzuka. And he's looking on course for another top 3 position here at Silverstone, but there's still got a long way to go yet. And I want to have a touch on Southwood's teammate Alex Cochrane, because I was speaking to him this week actually about his, not just with his racing and going on to the racing of this, he does not believe Griffin Gaming are the favourites, even though I asked him, or perhaps we feel that Griffin Gaming were the favourites to dominate here at Silverstone. He thinks otherwise.
Well, he may think otherwise, but right now he's in 2nd place and maintaining that position. Although Lois and Halligan are definitely wanting to change that. Halligan's getting really close to Lois. We can take a look at that.
Yeah,
Looks
we
like
cut
they
away
spread out
from
a
that.
little bit, yeah. But as they come through the International Pit Straight and into the Abbey Corner and the Farm Curve, they're maintaining. Kind of had figured that they'd get back closer again once they got into the corners, as they were through the twisty bits towards the beginning of International Pit Straight. I forget the name of the corner, but certainly Halligan is really close to Lois, and Lois is going to perhaps be feeling. Whoa! Halligan is off. Halligan is off. He loses it around Luffield. Oh, and he's going to have to rejoin, wait for other cars. That puts him down into 7th with Panos Speedy right behind him. Oh, goodness, that was not what he wanted to hear.
No, it's a really bad error there from Halligan. Got the power down too much coming out of Brooklyn's towards Luffield. That's a really costly error for him. He's rejoined into the path of Panos Speedy.
Yeah,
Who
Panos
Yep.
Speedy's going on.
He sends Panos Speedy off there. Oh, goodness. And Panos Speedy's having to get going again. He's stuck in the grass. He gets going. He's down into 10th, though. Hayden and Claxton Rudd both pleased to take that advantage, although it's perhaps not in the manner that they had hoped. Going back to the... oh, go ahead.
Yeah, Cochrane is out of DRS range of Bose in front of him, so Lois will be on to the gearbox of Cochrane very slowly but surely. should he remain a second behind, or within a second behind Cochrane at the detection point for the DRS zone. As he's gone through the first detection point is where, just on the entry of Village. Now they're coming onto the Wellington Straight. The DRS is wide open on the machine of Lewis's. He's not able to get the move done there.
Indeed, though he is very much trying. Looks like as we come around Cops, he runs very wide. Lois does. But if he doesn't get marked for track limits, it looks like he did gain a little bit of time there, though he might have lost it going a bit too fast into this other corner. Yep, there we go. There's the warning for Lois on track limits. So Lois, if you're listening, don't do that again.
Yeah, it's going up on my screen as well.
Actic and Hayden, no, Actic and Claxton Rood, I think it was, went off together.
Yeah, well, looks like was it Claxton Rudd that's gone into the back of him, or was it? Oh yeah, I think it was Actic who was involved. I think Panos Speedy managed to. I can't quite tell actually, according to the graphic, but that was a really nasty chain of events there, and 2 drivers dropping positions as a result of it.
Yup. And I'm sure both drivers have picked up some damage. The damage model in Assetto Corsa is a little bit more forgiving than it is in, say, R-Factor 2, but you can certainly feel it whenever your aero gets messed up, and these Formula cars are definitely reliant on aero packages for their corner speeds, and high-speed corners are very, very important around Silverstone. Speaking of which, Lois is getting very, very close through the corners here, going through Chapel now, and coming out onto the Hangar Straight, right behind Cochran. Just telling Cochran, I'm here, I see you, there's a lot of race left to run, but I'm right behind you and I've got the pace to catch you.
So you can't quite do it in 2, so they're just too far back to have a go, but he's most definitely putting Cochrane under pressure. Cochrane losing ground now to Bowes in front. 2 seconds is the margin, and I've got a feeling Lewis is going to get by the DAC very, very soon. Southwood, lonely there in 4th position. He's 7 seconds off the pace of Lewis in front of him. He's lost some time on this lap actually, so I wonder if he's had a moment somewhere as Southwood. At least he's in 4th place nevertheless.
At least, yes. Man, this battle between Lois and Cochran is absolutely amazing, because he's not making a move, but he is very, very consistently right on his tail.
So with right on board, a nice cockpit view there of Halligan in 6th place, who's recovering after that spin a couple of laps ago, and he's right behind what looks like one of the Bytowns, Tim Argentemmet, just exiting Luffield. But we're going back to the battle for second, because I think Lois is in striking range to have a go on Cochrane, although he's made a mistake at Maggots, which has compromised his line into Beckett's and onto Chapel. This is the battle now for 5th position, I think. Halligan's got a great opportunity to get back ahead of Argentemmet here.
He had a spin there. It looked like Barrichello. Barrichello had a spin there in the boss car. He is in 12th position. It looks like he has gotten back out.
He's a lap down. He's a lap down, and I think he should have got by.
Yes.
They should have let the leaders by. But I was just saying, while she was saying that, Argentemmet had a moment which has allowed Halligan to go through very, very easily. Now Halligan will be closing in on Southwood next car up from him, and Lewis did get by Cochrane in the end, so Cochrane down to 3rd place with Lewis going through, who will relish the opportunity to close down on the race leader Christoph Bowes.
Absolutely. He'll have his work cut out for him, though, because there's almost 3 seconds between second and first place. Blue flag investigation for Rocco there. So
Yeah, I'm not at all surprised. He should have been moving out of the way a lot sooner than he was told to do so.
indeed, and it probably would have benefited him too, because he may not have spun. So yeah, that's a worthy investigation, and they'll figure out an appropriate response.
And Cochrane just staying in touch with Lewis at the moment. Now, he's running wide on the exit of Stowe Corner. He's done that more than once on this lap, so he's not clearly having the confidence. He's riding over the curb as well through Vale. So Cochrane not having a good couple of laps at the moment, and with his teammate coming up behind him, I wonder if there's going to be a team orders playing a role in this, because Cochrane's clearly struggling.
Indeed. Southward has dropped back a bit, but he is still in 4th position. He's 6 seconds behind Cochrane, though, in 3rd. Let's just recap our top 5 right now. We have Bose in 1st, Lois in 2nd, Cochrane in 3rd, Southward in 4th, and Halligan in 5th.
Nigel and Temmer, 10 seconds adrift off those top 5 there. Bose's lead 2.7 seconds over Lois in 2nd place. So Bose looking rather comfortable at the moment. We've still got a pit stop round to come, and we just ride on board with Panos Speedy, who's in 10th position behind Attic. Now Attic is racing the Spinala racing car.
Indeed.
We could well see a change of position for 9th there, because Panos Speedy was right on the rear wing.
Oh, they're both in the both going into the pit lane. Lois and Cochrane both. So they seem to be making their first pit stop.
Imagine they'll go onto the C2 hard tyre, both of those guys, to make sure they get to the end. Oh, someone's off at Beckett's. Not sure who that was. I think it's
Oh, it's Hayden. It's Hayden. Hayden's off at Beckett's. Is it Hayden or Hayden? Hayden. Okay. Not the composer. Whoa! Spin's trying to get back on. Back now because I can't see who it was exactly.
back to the battle for third position, and we can just see a change of position as Aichintema gets a move on Claxton Rudd. So I think it was Claxton Rudd who had that spin, which has seen him lose some time, and Aichintema on the fresher tyres getting the move done on him before the Wellington straight. So it shows that it does make a huge difference when it comes to grip here at Silverstone. I think it's normally something like 1.8 seconds difference between the mediums and the hards, but obviously if you've been on them for a long time, it's an even bigger difference than that when it comes to grip.
Indeed. Jordan Claxton Ruddock, of the full name, we've been abbreviating it to Claxton Rudd, but full name Jordan Claxton Ruddock. He definitely wins my favorite livery design. I really love the design of this car. It's quite nice.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty much a livery of the Williams of last year, at the beginning of last year before COVID lockdown, when the season was put on hold, and then obviously sponsorship. There was obviously a change of sponsorship on the Williams before the very first race in Austria last July. But yeah, it is a nice livery, Cody. It's a wonderful livery to be in.
Absolutely. I'm always the more visually minded person. Speaking of Claxton Ruddock, he is in the pits. He is now coming out of the pit box.
Lewis is on the exit of Lovefield.
Oh, yes, indeed.
So that's a really bad error there from Lewis. He had a great race up to that point, just pushed too hard, getting the power down coming out of Lovefield, and he's lost a lot of time, and Salford's going to be all over the back of him very, very shortly. He's got going again, but Salford's within a second of him.
Indeed. And
there we go, look. There we go, look, Salford right behind the Spinala, I was going to say Spinala Racing, but I'm not sure if it actually is.
Lewis running a little bit wide there.
Finale. Yeah, it's Scuderia Finale it is that Lewis is racing for. But Salford continuing to close on him, and he'll be determined to get back ahead of that machine as Halligan's in the pits for his change of tyres.
Yep, so that's everybody in the pit lane and out of the pit lane now. So we have our leaders shuffled and then shuffled back into place before and after our pit stop. And so with that, top five: Bowes, Cochrane, Lewis, Southwood, and Halligan. It's a very familiar sight as we go into the midpoint of the race, as it was to the very beginning of the race. So everybody has made their stops. They are all, I would assume they're all on harder tires now, and are just going to be focusing on making them last to the end of the race.
They are on the harder tyres because of the white side marks on them. The yellow marks are the medium compounds of which these drivers are on. But if you look at Cochrane's gap to Bowes, it shrunk from where it was before the pit stops came. So Cochrane clearly gaining time on Bowes in front of him. Not quite within range of using the DRS, but is most certainly getting there. And we've still got half of the race to go. Back to the battle for third place, though, as Southwood is within DRS range to have a go on Lewis on the hanger straight.
Right.
Alongside.
Absolutely. Lewis keeps running wide on that corner. I'm not so sure if that's a track limits worthy violation there, but it depends on race control and how strict they are on enforcing it. I did see on this corner out to the International Pit Straight, where they have been pretty strict. He is being much more conservative than some drivers were earlier in the race.
Yeah, I mean, Lewis, to my mind, from that picture we saw, he's gaining an advantage by using the runoff area. So I'm sure that the stewards will be onto him, giving him a warning, because I think it's normally 3 warnings before you get penalised. But Southwood within a second still of Lewis. He's dropped back a little bit actually, but he's still using the DRS, so he'll be able to use that to close in on him. I'm just looking at the gaps now, 7 seconds between Lewis and Cochrane, so it's pretty much 2 separate battles for the lead and for the last place on the podium.
Indeed.
And Aptic looks as though he's calling it a day by the looks of it. He's had a considerable number of incidents in this one, so he's gone out of it.
Yep. So we've got, at this point, 3 retirements. Looks like Wasik, DJ, and Actic have all retired.
So riding on board with Southwood, still within a second of Lewis ahead.
Who's the car ahead of them? That's
will be
not Cochrane.
That's
That'd be-
that's a back marker. Not quite sure who it is, but it's not Cochrane. It's one of the back markers ahead of him. So just looking further down, I mean Halligan ran about 10 seconds behind those guys.
There we are. He lets him by. Yeah.
Cochrane most definitely within a second, so he just needs to stay with him. Within a second, by the time they get to the detection point, there was there was a bit of a dice in there from Lewis Southwood getting by one of the back markers. Couldn't quite tell who it was, but they're well clear of those guys now, and they can go do battle without any more interference. Want to go back to the battle for the lead because Cochrane is within a second. I'm sure he was within a second by the time the detection point went around. Yeah, he's using his DRS now. So it's an opportunity to close in on the leader.
Here on Club, coming out onto the International Straight. And it looks like he's just kind of hanging back there. It doesn't look like he's gaining a whole lot of position on Bose. But now as I say that, through Village and the loop, it looks like he's getting a bit closer there. But of course that's going to stretch out more as they get onto the straight again.
So Southwood, within a second, can he get the DRS for when he gets onto the Wellington Straight? We're now on lap 17, 14 laps to go here at Silverstone. Just looking further down the order, I mean, Panos Speedy and Argentema look rather comfortable in 6th and 7th. They don't look like they're going to be challenging the top 5. So it's going to be very much down to luck, really, and mechanical gremlins.
Yeah, it looks like everybody's pretty consistently holding their lines and their positions. Southward is, it would seem, he's rubber banding. His gap to Lois is rubber banding a bit, but it's all averaging to come out about the same. So it looks like we're not seeing too much of a battle, although I think Southward is pushing it as hard as he can to make it so. Gets a bit closer there to Lois, but then doesn't get as good an exit, and Lois gets the better exit onto the straight. So we're seeing, you know, a number of things, but it looks like they're maintaining their paces. Towards the end of this race, do you think we may see tires wear out? Did anybody go with mediums, and perhaps that might, you know, be a strategy that didn't play out so well, or are we just gonna have to wait and see?
I doubt it. I think the mediums have taken, the drivers are able to manage the mediums very, very well. And to be honest, I still think they had some tyre life left in them. Not very much, but still. And I think the hard tyres obviously are made to last a longer distance than the mediums. So I doubt that we're going to see any problems with tyres. It's just going to be very much down to driver ability from here on in.
All right.
And it looks as though that Shake has pulled out of the race as well.
Yes, it does. Let's see. Panos Speedy has made a wonderful recovery. We saw, of course, the lap down blue flag issue earlier. Saw the investigation for that. And he had his spin, and he went down as far as, I think, 10th or 11th. Ooh, right as I say something, he goes off a little bit. But he's worked his way back up to 6th place, which is a fairly respectable finish.
Cochrane just over a second behind Southwood, 0.7 of a second adrift of Lewis. And I mean, I don't know whether Panos Speedy or Argentina will try and close in on these guys. I mean, Argentina.
Oh, Panos has come into the pits.
Did he?
That's interesting.
Did he go on a longer first stint in comparison to the other guys? Did he start the race in the hard tyres in comparison to those? Maybe if he has, that may pay off for him because he's taking those hard tyres a good distance, and when he puts the mediums on, he'll be a lot quicker.
Indeed, I often say that if you do the same thing as everybody else, you're not going to pass them. You got to do something different that's better. And so he's definitely done something different. We'll have to see if it comes out to be better. But he's in 7th position. We'll see if he can work his way up any further.
So just looking to see where he'll rejoin. He'll rejoin well ahead of Hayden. So Panos Speedy's got a good amount of track position ahead of him. We're going to go back to the battle for 3rd place though, because Southwood is
closer to Lois. Yes,
he's not close enough to have a go though, so he's going to have to bide his time before he can commit himself to an overtake. He's got to think about the championship as well, because he doesn't want to take too many risks here, does Southwood. As it stands, with him 4th and Bose in the lead, Bose would take the lead by just a single point.
Indeed, and so getting on that podium, getting ahead of Lois. Hopefully, if Lois makes a mistake, Southwood would get up. But if you're Lois, you're looking at your mirrors and trying to keep him back there because you also want that podium as well.
Or another way that could change is if Cochrane gets by Bose.
Indeed. If Cochrane gets by Bose, then Southwood would benefit because Bose would be denied the point. And yeah, absolutely. That's a very good point to bring up.
Southwood got a kick of oversteer as he tries to get the power down. He would have got a better exit than Lois did at Luffield, but he just got a kick of wheel spin as he gets to the last corner before the old pit straight. Just looking at.
He does navigate the S's very, very nicely, and it looks like he's gonna have it. Whoa! Out on the grass, but he makes the pass. Oh, but it's not over yet. Oh, a bit of a touch there. Lois has the physical contact with Southwood, but Southwood makes that pass to 3rd place, and it looks like he's going to keep it for now.
I mean, that looked really naughty. I was just going to say that looked a bit naughty from Lois there, because he didn't leave a car's width on the inside on the hanger straight. And Southwood was entitled to go for the move as he did, and there was not an awful lot he could have done on the exit of Stowe Corner to avoid the contact of Lois. So I think Southwood had every right to go down the inside as he did.
I think so too, but yeah, warning Lois for not leaving the space. Yeah, so that is definitely a warning. It's one that if he had been able to pull it off and keep Southwood behind, the warning may have been worth it, but Southwood made it ahead anyways, and so not worth it. But now it's just entrances and exits to try to catch back up with Southwood. But looks like Cochrane's also getting closer to Bose to challenge, which Bose is in the pits. Oh yes, Panos Speedy has come into the pits. That's interesting. Because he just came out of the pits.
Yeah, I don't know if he's got a mechanical issue or whether he's had a moment somewhere. And Hayden's put into the pits and he's retired. And we're losing. The drivers are going out like flies now. We've still got a 3rd of the race to go. But this is a great battle to watch because Cochrane's all over the gearbox.
Oh, he's right alongside him. He's alongside him. This could be it. If he can hold this line, yes, he does. He's ahead. He's a full car length ahead now. So Cochrane is your new leader, but Bose coming up on this final corner, not final corner, but this next corner, he's going to try to change it. Runs a little wide though, goes for a different line. It might, oh, he's getting closer, yeah. I think it might work out for him. Oh, no, it looks like Cochrane's your new leader. Bose is in 2nd, and Southwood is, he's about 10 seconds behind Bose, but he's definitely got his eyes on the prize there. But what does this mean for points, Tom?
It means that Southwood's lead would still come down, but he would still be leading by 9 points. So Sauber's had a good lap or so, not just getting by Lewis, but his teammate Cochrane getting by Bowes.
Absolutely. Bowes and Cochrane come up upon a back marker. Looks like they're going to go around him with relatively little issue. And looks like Bowes is catching up to Cochrane, though.
He'll have DRS on the hanger straight. I don't know how close he got to Cochrane on this occasion. You can see in your picture at the moment, those two nose to tail. I think they just got by a back marker, actually. So Clutton Roddick got out of the way. So these two can go into battle again. And it looks as though they don't have any more back markers to contend with for the time being, at least. And Panel Speedy's still in the pits. Not sure what's going on there for him.
Yeah, he's got some sort of an issue, certainly. Final warning for track limits for Lois. He's coming out of Aintree Corner onto the Wellington Straight. Looks like it might have been the corner before that he had the issue. But yeah, certainly running wide is something you don't want to do too many times here. Race control, definitely, they don't like that. So
Yeah.
whatever performance benefit you may get from it, it would pale in comparison to getting a penalty for doing that too many times.
Well, Lois has got to be careful because Halligan's 6 seconds adrift from him, and depending on the time penalty, he could lose 4th place if he carries on exceeding the track limits as he has done. So he's quite an edgy race. I don't know if that's the right word, but not a comfortable one. But he's sort of been in the action. You could just see Bowes going over the runoff area. Now I'm sure he's going to get a warning, surely, because he's clearly getting an advantage by using the runoff area. So it wouldn't at all surprise me if the stewards got onto him for that.
Absolutely. But he is getting closer and closer to Cochrane, which Cochrane is going to see in his mirrors and is going to have to contend with. We've got 6 laps left to go in the race, and so with 6 laps left to go, it's time to make those moves.
We have only 8 cars circulating around the racetrack. Cochrane leading Bowes 6/10. Bowes still within DRS range. So Cochrane just needs to try and do all he can to protect his lead. And in terms of the battle here we go. Look, so Bowes most definitely within, well, I'd say most definitely, he's in some form of striking distance. Not sure he's going to have a go at him on the hanger straight. He needs a really, really strong exit off Beckett's to pull alongside or be in the slipstream of the DAC. You can see coming through Maggots and Beckett's.
Indeed. Coming around Stowe, it looks like he's gaining a little bit. Oh, but he does go wide there. So there may be another warning for that. But he is getting closer and closer. Not just on that, but also on pace. But yeah, Cochrane right now is maintaining his lead. Cool, calm, collected, no mistakes. That's how you've got to be to win one of these races. So there's some talent here, I'll tell you what. Ooh, they go around the back marker. That looked like Baricello, who's going quite slow actually around the circuit in last place. And I don't just say that on pace, but looks like he just didn't have his foot on the accelerator there.
Yeah, I was just going to say he's 2 laps behind. He's 2 laps behind the next man up front, and who's Panel Speedy, who's been in the pits yet again, but he's still in 7th place.
Oh no, Panel Speedy is off. He's in he's a retirement. He just spun on a corner, and he is out of the race now with 5 laps left to go. So Baricello just has to get around, and he'll take 7th.
But will he complete enough of the distance though? Because I think with it being a 3rd start race, 90% of the race distance is 27. So
yeah, he will. I think so.
I don't know if he will, to be honest with you, because we've still got another 5 laps to do after this one, and Baricello, so far, I think he's close to being more than 3 laps down, if I'm honest with you. So he may not get those points, even if he does get to the checkered flag.
Possibly.
I can see the
Speaking
leaders.
of back markers, Southward gets around a back marker. Lois is also moving around the same back marker, and Lois and Southward, I thought they were a bit closer than they are, with Lois about 3 seconds behind them. But it's definitely, they're definitely going around a bit more. Barrichello is just cruising. Quite strange. Very odd. But Bose is definitely getting closer to Cochran now. With 4 laps left of the race, this is turning into quite the chase. We're not quite to battle territory yet, but it's definitely a chase.
Most certainly turning into a barnstorming finish here in the Northamptonshire Grand Prix. Bose 4 tenths within, so he'll most definitely get DRS. Can he get into the slipstream there on the exit? You can see Halligan closing in on Lewis. He's only a couple of seconds behind him, so Lewis has had a moment somewhere, and Halligan's closing in on him.
Oh yes, definitely. Alex, warning for track limits.
Cochrane gets a warning.
Yeah, that's Alex Cochran. That's your leader.
So we've got 4 laps to go here now. Cochrane's still leading.
Oh! But it was Halligan.
Indeed. And looks like Halligan's going again.
Yeah,
4 seconds off of Lois.
He got it hooked up on the curb, didn't he? And the curb can upset the balance of the car, and almost around she went. But he's pointing in the right direction anyway, so there's not too much harm there. But he has lost time in pursuit of Lewis. But we're going to go to the battle for the lead here, because Bose all over the gearbox again. Now, when will he try and have a go on the hanger straight? Because although he may get by him on this lap, he won't have the benefit of the DRS the next time these drivers come out. And looking at Barrichello's gap to Aichin Temet, he's 3 laps behind him, but he's 4 laps behind the leaders at least. So I don't think he's going to be able to be classified and get those points.
Bose is the closest that he's been to Cochran in several laps, getting as close as 0.2 seconds off. He's going through, I believe, Maggotts and Beckett's. He's the closest he's ever been, getting as close as just like a couple of car lengths away. Oh boy, this is definitely shaping up. He's getting closer. And with 2 laps left to go, his gains on Cochran. Oh, he could almost touch him. He could almost touch him there. I think we're close enough to say that he's within striking distance.
Yeah, I mean, Cochrane took a wide line into Village. Got it hooked up nicely though, and got the going again through on the exit of the loop and through Aintree. And he's protecting the line. He's not moving across too much actually on Bose, but this isn't over by any stretch. Alex Cochrane going for his first victory this season. He needs a strong result really to keep alive his championship hopes. We've still got a long way to go yet in the championship, but still, he wants to get a win on the board, and of all places to do it, Silverstone. Bose all over the back of it now. He's going to have DRS onto the hanger straight once more, but is he going to be in the slipstream? It's too far back by the looks of it.
The Brit on digital home turf versus the German chasing him down to regain his position at the top, as he was earlier in the race. This is exciting. Lap 29 of 30. We come around this time and then one more, and that'll be checker.
Now can Bose probably won't do it on the Wellington straight. He needs to be right on the gearbox by the time they do exit Beckett's. Oh, he just loses it on the exit of the loop. That's not going to do his exit any good. He'll get the DRS, close back in.
Right alongside him. just a second there, but Cochran. Ooh, Bose has the speed.
Yep,
Bose has the
yep.
overspeed.
Oh!
Oh! Oh no! They touch! Bose goes off. Cochran maintains. Barring any other major incidents, it looks like it's going to be Cochran because it looks like Bose just got a little too hot there.
That was very marginal. That was very,
Oh,
very.
man.
Oh, I wonder what the stewards are going to say about that because that's not going to go away.
Mm-mm.
The stewards will have a look at that.
Absolutely
Where's
not.
Southwood?
Southward.
Where's Southwood?
Yep. P1 and P2, investigation after the race.
Investigation after race.
Yep, Southward is now 1.3 seconds behind Bose, and he's going to be chasing him now. We've got about a lap and a half around, and then we're done. And so Southward's going to have to make his move then. Bose may have picked up some damage there, so Southward may have a chance. Halligan, though. Halligan is chasing Lois for 4th position. Yeah. There's a lot of battle shaping up here in this last lap. A lot of development here. Southward chasing Bose for 2nd place. Cochran running away with it in 1st place, and Halligan trying to get onto 4th place here and defeat Lois.
Yeah, I was just going to say if Southwood could get by Bose, the time penalty for Cochrane could give the victory to Southwood in the unlikeliest of circumstances.
Absolutely. But yeah, Southward and Halligan both equal distances behind the guys they're chasing. Whoa! Southward goes way wide on the one right before Maggots and Beckett's.
One of his gained advantage by exceeding the track limits at Cots.
If he did, then it was negated. He got his rear left wheel off into the grass in the following corner. Oh, he's going for the late. Oh, it's now or never, and oh no, he spins Bose. Southward spins Bose. Oh my goodness. Looks like we're not going to have any change there. It looks like, although perhaps he might have been able to let him by, or he might have been able to get by. It looks like he let him by, understanding the optics there. Whoa! Halligan slams into the back of Lois at the end of the race. That's not very sportsmanlike.
No, I'm not sure if the stewards will be happy at all with drivers' behaviour like that. I know the race is done, but there is a rule for certain as to, driver etiquette and sportsmanship. But it's been a brilliant race for Cochrane, but he will be under that investigation. And bearing in mind, it's a 13-second gap actually. So I think even if Cochrane did get penalised for the incident, he may just get away with that victory because of Bose and Southwood's maladies.
Possibly. Wow, lots of drama there at the end. That was quite an exciting race. We're very glad that you all could join us. It's not quite over yet because we've got the post race coming up. First off, we've got to hear from race control on if there's going to be any shifting of positions from warnings and punishments for the things that we saw on the track there. But this has been quite an exciting race. Tom, your thoughts?
I've enjoyed it. I mean, it's a shame we had so many drivers dropping out almost, at certain points in the race. But we had a cracking battle for the lead and for 3rd place as well. But, it's still not over yet. We've still got an investigation that's going to be under review in relation to Cochrane and Bose's contact on the penultimate lap at Copse Corner. But I would think Cochrane will come away with a victory even if he was to get penalised.
Indeed. Well, all right. Race control. I'm looking at incidents. I haven't seen anything. Looks like we're going to have probably a bit of time to wait there. I see some Serta desktop on our stream. And Assetto Corsa being loaded back up. But yeah. Well, we thank you all for joining us. I'm not so sure when we're going to hear the results on the final results of the race. But Tom, do you have any insight on that?
Well, Southwood will be happy to come away still in the lead of the championship. As it stands, it's 9 points before they go to the next round, which will be in Magny-Cours next weekend. So I'm really looking forward to see how the drivers do there. Hopefully we can get a bigger grid next time out, closer racing, and more on-track battles, particularly between the DACs and the Griffins.
Indeed. I love Magny-Cours. That's a very fun track. I remember my first experience with Magny-Cours, it was in GT Legends from 2005, I think it was. And that was a really, really fun sim to screw around in. Yeah, it looks like we're looking at some of the race highlights here from earlier. And we see one of the issues with... Where was this? So what are we looking at?
This
is Silverstone, yeah.
Yeah, it is Silverstone. Yeah, it's between Russell. I think it was Panospeedy who were coming together at some point. I may, or something like
This is
that.
a 17-lap race. That's being shown.
A separate race or something. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, it looks like a different race by the looks of it. But we'll find out afterwards in relation to the incidents.
Indeed. Serta, any input? We've been on and off with our communication ability with Serta, so just want to see. Nope. Well, if there is nothing else, I just want to say thank you guys for tuning in. It's been a wonderful race. Our next race is, as Tom said, at Magny-Cours. When will that race be held?
I would think it's going to be next week, but this same time next week.
Same time next week. There we go. So we look forward to you tuning in. And this has been RomRom.net and OWR.